Hello, my name is Randall Adcock. I'm with Wayfinders Business Cooperative, and today we're talking with Barbara Mckenzie at the Business Link. She's Executive Director. Welcome, Barbara.
Thanks, Randall.
Could you tell us a little bit about the primary goal of the Business Link?
Yeah, so our vision is to be the number one stop for entrepreneurs to help them start, grow, and build great Alberta businesses.
So that's kind of the full life cycle of the business, is it? From start to finish?
Absolutely, and any time and any stage that you're in business, Business Link can be here to serve and help you. So, for example, we recently chatted with an entrepreneur that we helped about 10 years ago when she was starting her business. She grew her business and now was in a place where she was looking at what the next option was. So she came back to us and had a chat with us, and instead of closing her business, she actually sold it.
Oh.
So she's now able to make an investment into a new company and carry on a new entrepreneurial journey while keeping her business and her employees still up and running.
Wow. Well, can you tell us a little bit more about the services, programs, events that you put on here?
Yeah, so we actually run services in about 4 different lines of business. Our first line of business is that we are the first stop for entrepreneurs thinking or looking at what they need to start a business. So we have a team of individuals here that can chat with people on the phone, via chat online, email, or in person, and they answer questions from simple things like how do I obtain a business license all the way up to doing business plan reviews and advising services. Second piece that we have is a group of people that are business facilitators, and what they do is they're out in the communities. They run a bunch of different events, educational seminars, workshops, and they do one-on-one coaching with entrepreneurs, which is often a longer-term process. The third line of business we really have is around educational seminars. So we do 4 different kinds of educational seminars. We do webinars, so we have lots of different professionals and experts come in, do 1-hour webinars with us to talk about a variety of different topics that are interesting to entrepreneurs. We also run educational workshops, which are 1 to 2 hour seminars, again around a variety of different topics. Then we do customized learning. So specific individualized type learning for different partners. And then we're also now going to be introducing long form seminars. And those will be longer term things like business model canvases. We're in business planning workshops and market research where entrepreneurs can actually come out with a viable product at the end of the day. So they'll actually have a business plan or a business model canvas or some work on their market research plan that they can then use in their business.
Wow, very hands-on.
Yeah, and that's really important, I think. People want to come out of something with something. Information is great, but we all have Google these days. But actual learning experience, I think, is very important for entrepreneurs. And it's important that when they're spending their time and their money, they're actually getting something out of it. And then our 4th line of business is support services. So we have a market research stream, so entrepreneurs can access secondary market research through us and then ask the expert. So we offer half-hour consultations with lawyers and accountants, and those are always fully booked well into the future. Very popular service that we're looking at expanding.
Excellent. And this reach is across the province. Can you tell us where your people are located?
Yeah, so we are truly an Alberta-wide business. So we have been supporting entrepreneurs from Little Red River Cree Nation in northern Alberta to Oyen in southern Alberta. And right now we have staff that can service Grand Prairie, regional municipality Wood Buffalo, all the way from Fort Chip to Conklin. We have a team that services central Alberta, including Red Deer to Cold Lake to Jasper. And then we also have a Calgary-based team. We have staff based in Lethbridge and in Brooks as well to service southern Alberta.
Wow, that's pretty comprehensive.
Absolutely.
Do you have kind of an 80-20 rule, like the kinds of services or questions people are trying to answer?
Most popular things people want to know about are how do I finance my business? What are the regulations, and how can I help get support doing my business plan?
All right. So now do you provide answers? Do you help them find answers for themselves, or?
We do a couple of different things. We can provide answers, we can do all the support services. We also do a ton of referrals. So we collaborate with all of the other entrepreneurship service providers, as well as the financial institutions, government organizations, a broad spectrum of people that help entrepreneurs through their journey, consultants, lawyers, insurance agencies. So we do provide a ton of referrals, and we have a lot of partnerships and collaborations that help entrepreneurs as well.
There's more and more talk about a business ecosystem, the different agencies, organizations, businesses helping one another. And I know the Business Link is central to this, but could you name some of the other organizations that you have partnerships with?
Yeah, absolutely. We really do believe in the whole idea of a collaborative ecosystem, and we work with a lot of different organizations. So organizations that we often collaborate with: ATB Financial Entrepreneurship Centers, AWE, Alberta Women Entrepreneurs, Futurepreneur, Community Futures, Momentum in Calgary, Prospect Human Services. We also work with all of the regional innovation networks, so Calgary, Innovate Calgary, Innovate Edmonton, Chambers of Commerce across the province, and I could go on and on and on.
That's amazing, but it's amazing that you have all those names right on the tip of your tongue as well.
They're great partners, and we highly appreciate them. We have some really interesting and cool relationships.
And this is good. I mean, having been in starting a business myself, I know that it's really nice to be able to call on people who are specialized in the kinds of answers you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Okay. Are there any particular challenges that businesses are facing today? Maybe new issues that they're facing, perhaps the Alberta economy?
Yeah, I mean, the Alberta economy is definitely something. If you're looking at doing business domestically, there are challenges, that's for sure. I mean, we still have great GDP growth here. We have wages that are above the national average. So I think often we, think about the Alberta economy being challenged, and it is in many cases, especially if you're unemployed or, in the oil and gas industry. But we're also seeing real divergence and diversity come up. Challenges really exist in the fact that businesses always, and entrepreneurs are looking at how to finance their business. That's
Right.
always a key piece. I think the other piece is really often, minimum viable product, understanding what they need to actually be able to create a business around an idea or a service or a product. I think as well these days, companies that are looking at, that have been around for a while, that are now trying to make decisions about where they're going to go, and they're looking at what their market expansion is, product line expansion, how they can deliver services in a different way, what is disrupting their current industry environment, technology and innovation. These are all huge challenges for entrepreneurs. The amount of data that we collect these days and the information that we have, you need to disseminate through that and find some guideposts to kind of move you forward, and that can often be a real challenge.
Right, and there's some demographic segments that have additional needs in addition to the usual business support, Indigenous or new immigrants. How do those programs work?
Yeah, so we have two amazing programs. We have the Indigenous Business Development Services Program, which has been running for 10 years. We are focused on supporting Indigenous entrepreneurs in building and developing their businesses. And we provide one-on-one services, workshops, self-employment programming, and a number of different resources within that program. We have reach across all three treaty areas, Treaty 6, 7, and 8 in Alberta. So we've been really amazed by what we can do with that. And all of the people that are employed in our Indigenous program are Indigenous. So they really understand the cultural implications and what is going on within those communities. And we've been really incredibly blessed. In the last 3 years, we've been able to support 62 Indigenous businesses start and grow. And that is incredible.
Very
and that
impressive.
adds to the economic prosperity across the board for all Indigenous people. We have a second program in that around Indigenous procurement, and it's a federal government program. They're trying to increase the number of Indigenous businesses in their procurement stream. It's the first of its kind program in Canada, and we work with Indigenous-led businesses to connect them with procurement opportunities in the federal government.
Excellent.
And we're really excited about that, and we are getting some amazing results out of that already. You mentioned immigrants, of course. So we do have an immigrant entrepreneurship program here. It's a 2-year program that we're running right now on a pilot, and that supports newcomer entrepreneurs, and it especially focuses on immigrant women entrepreneurs and helping them build their business. And it focuses on rural Alberta as well. So we're really looking at how we can reach and support immigrant entrepreneurs as they want to start and build businesses here in Alberta and learn how to do business here in Alberta.
Really very good. So there's a long history of engagement with the different communities across geography and demographic segments. You're covering services from cradle to grave of businesses. Can you tell us a little bit about how all of this evolved over time? Can you tell us how did the Business Link get started, and how has it changed over the years?
In 1996, when the Business Link started, there weren't really a lot of entrepreneurship support services. And Western Economic Diversification and the provincial government came together as partners to say, you know what, we need to service entrepreneurs in Alberta and small businesses in Alberta and give them some support services. Since then, obviously, that entire ecosystem has shifted and changed. But I think what remains true for Business Link is that we serve all entrepreneurs in all industries, in all walks of life across the entire province, no matter what community they're in, no matter what stage of business they're in. And that, I think, is really important, right? It's the diversity of what we get to do here. While so many of the other services might be more narrowly focused, we have that broad service. And you know what? We've evolved because entrepreneurs have evolved. Their needs have changed. They're constantly iterating, innovating, changing. We know the industries are being disrupted, so we have to do that on an ongoing basis. So every few years, we look at what we're providing and what our services are. So we've just continued to evolve. We've gone from a huge space in 1996 that had a full-blown library because, hey, that's how we used to do research, to now we do research online through databases. Right? And now we have a much smaller office footprint. We are more involved in getting out to co-working spaces and meeting entrepreneurs where they are in their businesses rather than them coming to us. We now provide service through email and chat and a whole new plethora of ways of connecting with us that are digitally enabled. So we evolve because entrepreneurship has evolved.
Interesting. I've read statistics regarding the changing workforce. More and more people are freelancing or gig workers working from contract to contract. So this must be changing somewhat the demand for your services?
Well, it's interesting because the gig economy has changed things. We now run an independent contractor workshop that's very popular because a lot of people are independent contracting. They're either moving from contract to contract or they're working online. They're promoting their services through things like Fiverr and Guru. So this has really, really changed the landscape. I think also, Alberta's always been a very entrepreneurial province. And people are consistently looking at what those entrepreneurship opportunities look like. But with digitization and technology comes a very big shift in how people are delivering those businesses and those services. So that's really impacted, I think, the kind of programs we need to deliver and the knowledge we need to have.
With all of these changes going on in the economy, both local, regional, and even international, where do you see the Business Link in, let's say, 5 years from now? Do you see some changes coming?
Well, we need to evolve. We live in a world that's constantly being disrupted. Innovation is key. Information and data is abundant. So we need to respond to entrepreneur needs. So we really consider ourselves as iterating programs that are entrepreneur centric on an ongoing basis. So what does the next 5 years hold? Can't even predict 5 years. I think if we have a 3-year plan, we know year 1, year 2, but even year 3 is still a little nebulous, right? Because things do change so quickly. Our economy could turn around. So many things could change in that time. I think the thing to focus on is that we respond to entrepreneur needs and we're not afraid to evolve, and that we're constantly iterating and trying new things.
Constantly asking them what they need and staying close to your customers, I suppose.
Absolutely, always responding to need.
All right. Do you have anything else you'd like to add to our interview today?
Wow, I don't know. Go to our website at businesslink.ca to get more information on all of our programs. We have some really cool things coming up. Great new programs that we're running. Sign up for our newsletter because that's how people are always going to be able to get the most current information, the best information on our new entrepreneurs that are coming out, success stories, events, all sorts of great opportunity there.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Barbara. You've been watching Impact, a production of Wayfinders Business Cooperative, and we've been talking with Barbara Mckenzie, Executive Director of the Business Link in Edmonton. Thank you, Barbara.
Well, thank you. So glad to be here.